Steeler Nation, welcome back to the Steeler Weight Show. Doing a little something different. Driving on my way home, coming up underneath the beautiful city of South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame. And eclipse was yesterday. Hope everybody made it through, and they were able to use their eyeballs today. They were able to see themselves coming into work. And big thing I wanted to talk about was just I think everybody needs to kind of relax about who we pick as the center position. I have different favorites. Different people look good. There's different. Everybody has so many different values out there as far as never pick a center in the first. Should we trade back and get this guy? You know. One of the things that has, I guess I've gathered from the different people that are in the know that talk about the offense is that it does need a very athletic center. And I think a lot of people, deem that like very athletic as like, well, we got to get the best guy, whatever people are seeing as value. The one thing that is unique about the center class this year is that they are all very, very, very good athletes. As far as their athleticism goes, the top 6 or 7 are great athletes. And it's funny, so many people, and I understand the hometown, Pittsburgh, West Virginia, Zack Frasier's cool, tough guy, I get it. But everybody seems to, the biggest thing that they like about him is that they think he's plug and play. Maybe. That doesn't happen successfully very much for the Steelers. I mean, they don't do it very often, but the things that I've heard is that he's not necessarily that athletic. I mean, he's athletic enough. That's what they always end up saying. And but there are so many centers out there now that are very athletic that could probably be taught that Steeler way. How we want the offensive line coach to take care of them, train them. And Omar has already came out and said, for what it's worth, that they're fine with, they have people that can go in there if they want. So it's not necessarily like we have to have what's considered a plug-and-play center. If you have 2 guards on the outside, you can get away with a 3/4 mediocre or mediocre, or, give allowances for a rookie to make mistakes when you are inside of Isaac and Daniels. So there is something called the RAS score, relative athletic score, and all these centers have done very well in this. Going all the way to, a lot of times they'll end up leaning towards Van Pran, like, well, he is athletic. Well, just the other day I was watching a draft guy that I really do like, not a Steeler guy, but just a draft guy that I like, and he actually had Bo Lemer and it wasn't Lee, but he had another center ahead of Van Pran, and he wasn't saying he was disrespecting Van Pran whatsoever. He didn't even make much about it. He just said this is a more valuable, center. So there's options out there. If you would follow me on X, my X isn't that great. It is what it is, but I try to put stuff out there I like. But if you're on X, follow Map Bombs. My links in my description will probably be a little bit later on after I get this video up, if the audio is okay. But they have these RAS scores and it's very interesting. And I try to post ones that, you know, I think are noteworthy. The one that kind of blew me out of the water so far out of the entire off season was Graham Barton. I mean, he scored like top 4 or 5 since like they've been doing the testing. You know, it was like 9.988 or something like that, or something, you know, wild, almost perfect. And I wonder, you know, I would take him in the first round, to be honest with you, if they knew he could snap. But I'm not all into that whole changing up. I see, you know, there's a guard out there, McCormick, but he's a guard. People talk about BB out there in Kansas, you know, but that's another deal. They call him the Dancing Bear. Bo Lemer is very athletic. The guy from even Penn State, he's athletic. There's a lot of these guys out there that Steelers are going to be just fine at the center position. We're going to love who they pick, or we're going to not love it. But we're going to fall in love with them first. So, Steeler Nation, if you would, please like the video and subscribe. I appreciate all your shares. I had to get something else out there because I will be going on to Steelers Nation Australia soon, and that last podcast I did was a complete train wreck. I'm really not allowed to do podcasts on Fridays, but I did. And so, thank you everybody who joined Mike Drop Sports on Saturday night. That was my first time being on somebody else's podcast. He ended up getting 1,100 views. You know, I was fortunate enough that 5 new people have subscribed to the channel. And if you're listening, thank you for coming back. Folks, have a great hump day tomorrow, and I will talk to you soon. AMF.